Well, some good news today for our nation's top athletes as Prime Minister Dr. Rowley announced the resumption of training for competition sports. However, this would be done under some strict measures in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. Here's Kent Fuentes with more.
Competition, team sport, and casual competitive sport have been amongst the hardest hit under the COVID-19 lockdown measures. But there is good news today for those who are preparing for international competition from Prime Minister Dr. Rowley.
We know that we have a number of sporting teams who are anxious to get engaged in preparations for competition, home and abroad. We are now going to allow all sporting teams that are engaged in national competition, international competition, those teams can now go back to activity, full activity. And of course, if they are to have persons other than members of the teams around, that they remain groups of no more than.
While the competitive sports and their athletes are allowed to practice, Prime Minister Dr. Rowley says there will be a limit on the support staff that will be present.
It is our hope that if the numbers continue to go in the direction that they are going, that when I speak to you again in the time frame in which I've been speaking to you, that we should be able to do a bit more with respect to sporting activities. If we do not see negative reactions to the opening up that we're doing now, we will allow more casual sporting activity in the context of what I've said early on.
Kent Fuentes, TTT Sports.
Meanwhile, the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee has called for discipline from its national sporting organizations with the ease of measures. The TTOC stated national teams and national sport organizations preparing for international competitions, including Tokyo 2020 qualifiers, must exercise strict discipline and rigorous enforcement of the Ministry of Health's guidelines and regulations. It is important that sport does not become a COVID-19 super spreader. We must insist on and remain disciplined and self-regulate. There is no margin for error, while the trust and confidence must not be betrayed nor misplaced. There is responsibility to the entire sport ecosystem. Get this wrong, and sport on the whole will suffer.